Agents will utilize the CSG Actuarial Medicare Supplement Quote and e-application platform to submit all ACE electronic applications. Agents can access the platform through the ACE portal or any of the CSG Actuarial sites, including the CSG app inside Integrity's MedicareCENTER. Agents must be contracted with ACE to submit an e-application on the platform. This tutorial video is going to cover how to complete an application start to finish. We will highlight key features of the application, including real-time underwriting and the multi-signature options. We will use the ACE portal for this demo. To start the application, you will first run your Medicare supplement quote. Once the application has been started, it will store in the e-applications dashboard. So all you would need to do is click on View Active to pick up where you left off. All submitted applications will also appear in your e-application dashboard. We will show you the e-app dashboard later in this tutorial. To start your quote, click on Run Quote underneath Medicare Supplement. Enter in your client's zip code, and then the city and the state will populate in the upper right-hand corner as well as the county. You can then adjust your age, gender, tobacco status, as well as plan type. Please make sure that you do move your effective date forward. If you would like to include the household discount, you can apply it to your premiums. You can do that on the quote results page or within the application itself. For this example, I'm going to not have the household discounts applied, and then I'll hit the Get Quote. We will then see the premium for ACE. On the far left-hand side, if you would like to apply those discounts to the monthly rate, you can select Apply Discounts here, or you are able to adjust that within the application. So we'll unselect Apply Discounts just to get the normal rate, and then when we are ready to take the application, we will hit the blue Apply Now button. To submit an application, you must be contracted with ACE. So enter in your agent ID. Once you've typed in your agent ID, go ahead and hit Update. If the system recognizes your agent ID, it will say Settings Updated, and then it will take just a few moments to put you into the e-application. Let's run through a quick navigation of the e-application platform. To make your screen bigger, you can always click on the 3 horizontal lines where it says Navigation, and that will give you a little bit more screen space. Over on the far right-hand side, you have your Overview and your Notification section. Your Overview section is going to include your quote as well as the premium and the applicant information like gender, age, and tobacco status. Underneath there, we do have all the initial document. If you need to get a copy of the outline of coverage, the terms and disclosures, or the choosing a Medigap guide, you can do that here. You can also send these documents over to a client by email. Underneath the initial documents, you will then have the sections of the application that you will go through and complete. Those sections will populate once you have selected your underwriting type on the far left-hand side. If you are going through fully underwritten, you would have health information section. If you are going through open enrollment or guarantee issue, you would not have those particular sections. You also have your notifications tab on the far right-hand side. As you are going through the application, the system will notify you if you have any errors in the application. A couple examples would be if you select the wrong underwriting type, or if you have answered yes to a declinable health condition or entered in a declinable drug. Let's go back to the overview section so we can start completing the application. You will notice that your name and agent ID carry over. After you have entered in your agent ID the first time getting into the application, the system will automatically recognize you, so you do not have to enter in that agent ID again. If you ever need to change your agent ID, you can always do that in the settings icon in the upper right-hand corner. Let's first start by going over the underwriting types. You'll either select full underwriting, open enrollment, or guarantee issue. If you're not sure which underwriting type, you can always click on the eye icon for additional information. We're going to go through a couple of examples in today's training. The first one is going to be an open enrollment application. From there, I will then enter in my plan eligibility. It does carry over a date of birth from your age when you quoted, and then we can enter in the Medicare Part A and Part B effective dates. Once those have been entered, we can hit the blue Continue button. As you are going through the application, each section will automatically save as you hit continue to go on to the next section. You can navigate through the sections in any order or skip a section or go back to a particular section. You will now see your sections on the far right-hand side that you will go through and complete. A green check mark means that that section is complete. A yellow error icon means that there is missing information in that section or there is an error. Again, you can skip to any section just by clicking on that particular section on the right-hand side. You can navigate to the different sections by hitting the continue button or the previous back button. We'll start by looking at the plan type. Any plans that the client is eligible in will show. You'll notice in this particular case, this applicant is not eligible for that plan F, so it is grayed out. If I would make any changes to my plan selection, it would change my premium over here on the far right-hand side once I hit that continue button. In the application information section, we will confirm the requested Medicare supplement effective date, which was carried over from the quote, and then start by typing in all of the applicant's information. Anything with a red asterisk is going to be a required field. It carries over the zip code, city, and the state from the quote. If the mailing address is different from the resident address, you can select yes or no. Enter a phone number with the area code as well as the client's email address. Two of the signature options on this e-application platform is text and email. So please make sure that you do enter in the correct phone number and email that you would like to use for that signature method. We can confirm the age, the date of birth, gender, and then enter in the height and weight. Because I ran the quote as non-tobacco, it automatically selected no to the tobacco question. I can go ahead and now hit continue. The household premium discount is automatically selected as no because I ran the quote without the household discount. If I do select yes to the household discount, it will define for me the household discount and the criteria for that. And if my client would qualify for that, I would then enter in their spouse information, first name, last name, address, zip code, city, and state, as well as their last 4 digits of their social security number, date of birth, and relationship to the applicant. If that particular individual also has an ACE policy, you would type that policy number down here below. If you would fill out all that information and hit continue, your premium on the far right-hand side will adjust to that household discount rate. So let's show you how that works. I've entered in the spouse information, so I will go ahead and hit that continue button. And you will see the premium on the far right-hand side did decrease. Next, we'll enter in a social security number and Medicare card beneficiary ID number. Keep in mind, both of these items do have the red asterisk, so they are required fields. I will then complete the rest of the sections. Have you enrolled in Medicare Part D more than once? Did you turn 65 in the last 6 months? In this case, I am going to select yes because they are turning 65, getting on their Medicare supplement. Did you enroll in a Medicare Part B in the last 6 months? I'm going to select yes and then put in that effective date again. Are you applying during your guarantee issue period? That is automatically selected no because in my underwriting situation, I had open enrollment selected. I'm going to select no to are you eligible for Medicare due to disability? Then I am going to give authorization for ACE to act on electronic instructions and electronically deliver statements to me. From there, I'm going to hit the continue button. Now on to the previous or existing coverage information. Depending on how you answer these questions, if you answer yes, it will prompt you with additional information or fields that you have to go through and complete. In this example, I am going just to select no to these items, and then I'm going to hit continue. Within the method of payment section is where you are prompted for your first type of signature option, which is a wet signature. So what a wet signature is you filling out the application electronically, and once that application has been filled out, you will print it off. And then you and the applicant will physically sign that piece of paper, and you will send that into the carrier. If you would like to print for the wet signature, you can select yes. By utilizing this option, you are able to pay your initial premium payment by check and include that in with the application. Otherwise, if you do select no, you do not have an option to pay that initial premium by check. Now, if you want to complete the entire application electronically, just make sure that you have no for print for signature. Then you will select the payment method, whether you want that to be bank draft or billed. That would be a direct bill. I'm going to select bank drafts just so you can see the different options that you would have: annual, semi-annual, quarterly, or monthly. If you do want to be billed, you do not have that monthly option. I'm going to select bank draft, monthly, and then you do have a couple of different options for that initial premium payment timing, and then when you would like that premium taken out: first day of the month, third day of the month, second Wednesday of the month. So you do have some options here. There's also an other option for you to select a particular day. I'm going to select first day of the month, and then for your banking account information, you can either do from a checkings or a savings account, and then select your routing number. You can either type in that routing number or you can type in a bank name, and then those different options with the routing number will appear. From there, you will scroll down and enter in the account number, as well as indicating if this is a business account. I'm going to select no to that, and then first name and last name. You will answer yes or no to the authorized signer on this account. If you do select no, the authorized signer will also have to sign the application. From there, we can go ahead and hit continue. The next section is the to be completed by producer section. You'll just indicate that this is a new business application and answering yes or no to has the agent sold any other health insurance policies to the applicant. If you do answer yes to that, it is going to ask you some additional questions. I'm going to go ahead and select no there, and then policy mailing preferences, whether it's mail to the insured or mail to the licensed agent. Policy delivery preference, whether that is electronic or paper, and then the agent will just enter in their information below. After that information has been entered, we can scroll down, and this is where the agent can enter in any type of additional documents that would need to be submitted with the application. They would just choose the file, upload that file, and then add the document. So just make sure that that document is shown in your entries below. After all the sections have been completed, the agent can then click on Verify Application. This would give the agent one last opportunity to make sure each section is complete and review the information. If an agent notices any errors in any of the sections, they can always hit the Edit Section icon or jump to a section over here on the right-hand side. We do need to have green check marks on every single section in order to click on Lock and e-sign. Once we have all green check marks, we can then hit that Lock and e-sign. There is an option for the print for signature. This would be if the agent decided that they wanted to do the wet signature option. Again, if everything is going to be electronic, we are going to hit that Lock and e-sign. This is going to be the electronic signature consent and disclosures, so we will just scroll through those and then hit the accept and then continue on to the next section. If you'd like to print those disclosures, you can hit that print option. Again, there is that print and wet sign, but to do everything electronically, hit that continue button. We are then taken to the statement of signature page where the applicant will select if they are in the same physical location as the applicant. Depending on answering yes or no, the agent would have different options for getting the applicant to sign the application. So if they are in the same physical location, they have all three signature options: applicant providing identification information, an email signature link, or a text signature link. If they are not in the same physical location, they just have two options, which is the email signature link or the text signature link. Notice with the email signature and text signature link, it does carry over the email and the phone number from the applicant information section. We cannot change the email here, so if you have to change that email address, you will need to scroll down to the bottom and select Edit Application and unlock the application. Because the applicant may have provided a home telephone number that is not a mobile device, they can change this phone number here. We're going to go through the first signature option, which is going to be the applicant providing identification information. So I'll hit yes to being in the same physical location, and then applicant provides identification information. After we go through this one, we will do an example of the email signature link as well. So the applicant must open and review the following forms in their entirety for accuracy. So I'm going to go ahead and open up each document. Once I open up that particular document, it opens up a new tab. So I will just go back and then open up the terms and the disclosures. Choosing the Medigap policy guide, the application itself. Notice as we're looking through the application, we went through everything electronically, so everything has been put into each of the different fields. The household discount form, as well as the payment authorization. Once all the documents have been opened, all the bars will turn green. Once the bars are green, you will then be able to check mark I have received, read, and kept a copy of the above documents. And then the applicant's signature is going to be the applicant's mother's maiden name and the applicant's last 4 digits of their social security number. So you will have to type in those last 4 digits. It will acknowledge the city and the state and the zip code. Then you will check mark apply e-signature and scroll down to verify your producer name and your agent ID. By selecting apply e-signature, you, the agent, is now signing the application. We can then hit sign application. It will then prepare the application to be submitted. From there, you will see that the application has been submitted successfully, and you do have a policy number there to be able to reference. Afterwards, you do have an option to open and save any of the documents. And then once you are done, you can click on View Applications. And this application will show in your e-applications panel that it has been submitted with that policy number. We will also store a copy of that PD application here in the platform. That application has now been sent over to ACE for a final review. In order to check the final status of the application, please check the ACE agent portal. Now, as I mentioned, in this e-applications panel, it will also store any of your incomplete applications. So incomplete applications could be applications that you have started or applications that are still pending a client signature. I started an application earlier for John Smith, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Edit Application to go back into that application that I've already started for John. You'll notice in this particular application, I am doing a fully underwritten application. So I do have additional sections here on the far right-hand side that I would have to go through and complete. So I'm going to show you what the health information and medication information sections are like by hitting on the health information. Here's where we will answer all of the different health questions, and we are notifying you which questions are going to be an automatic decline and they would not be eligible for coverage. So if you answer yes to one of these questions, you would receive a notification in the far upper right hand corner that they may not be eligible for coverage. So let's see how that works. Let's just say for this first one, I'm going to select yes, and then I hit the continue button. You'll get a red notification box that says the applicant may not be issued coverage because you answered yes to at least one health question. So I can exit out of that box, and then I will always be able to see my notifications here on the right-hand side. Now the agent is still going to be able to submit that application, but we are at least notifying them that they may not be eligible for coverage. So if I go back to the overview section, I can click on the health information section to complete and make any changes. So I'm going to change my yes answer to no, and then finish answering all of the health questions. Once all of the health questions have been answered, I can then hit the continue to go on to the medication information section. Next, I will answer yes or no to taking or have you taken any prescriptions or over-the-counter medications in the past 12 months. I'll go ahead and select yes to that, and then I can start by typing in the medication name. As I start by typing in a particular medication, I will get options that populate for me to select. I'll select the medication, as well as the dosage amount, and reason for taking the medication. Date that it was prescribed, quantity taken, and frequency. Date that it was last filled. And once all that information has been entered, I will hit on Add RX Drug. Once that drug has been added, I can go and start adding additional medications up here at the top. Once all of the medications have been added, I can go ahead and hit that continue button to go on to the next section. Now I am going to show you one other section here is the previous or existing coverage information. Now this is an underwritten application, so I do want to show you what you would do if your client was previously on a Medicare supplement plan and they are switching plans. So do you have another Medicare supplement policy in force? You would select yes to that question. Do you intend to replace it? Yes. And then have you received a copy of the replacement notice? And then this is where you would just enter in that particular plan that the client was on and their termination date for that. So this would be a section that if you answer any of these questions yes, it would ask you for additional fields to complete. So now I just have one last section to complete here, which is the to be completed by producer section. So I can just hop over to that section and then we will go through and sign this application. I'll select new business here, make sure all other fields have been entered, and then we can hit verify application. Every section looks good, so I don't need to edit anything. So I'll hit that lock and e-sign. I will agree to the electronic signature consent and disclosures by hitting accept and then continue. And now in this option, we are going to do the email signature link. So I'm going to say I am not in the same physical location. Email signature link. It does carry over the email from the applicant information section. Again, if this is something that you need to change, you can just scroll down and hit edit application. From there, it carries over your producer name, your agent ID. So the agent will just select apply e-signature and then sign application. You will then receive this notice that the application is now pending the applicant's signature, and this would give the agent an opportunity to open up and save any of the above documents. Then we can click on View Applications. Now, any applications that are pending a client signature will show a status of incomplete. If you are doing an email or a text signature, the applicant has a 2-hour window to sign it. So if John is outside of his 2-hour window, the agent can quickly resend the signature to John. If the agent hits edit and makes any changes to the application, it will then void that signature link that was sent to the applicant, and then the agent would have to go through the signature process again. So let's now show you the screens that the applicant will complete if they are completing by email. This is the email that the applicant would receive. It will say that it's from their licensed insurance agent. The agent is also CC'd on this particular email. It also notifies the applicant that the code will expire in 2 hours. So the applicant will write down or copy that code and then hit verify signature. They will paste in or enter in their code, and then they do have to fill out their applicant's date of birth. In order for this to verify, the applicant's date of birth needs to match the date of birth on the application. The applicant will read through the terms and conditions and the electronic signature consent, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and select I agree. The applicant will then open each of the documents to review them for accuracy. So they will click on the outline of coverage that will open up in a new tab. They'll go back to their tab to open up all the other documents. As the applicant is reviewing the application, if they noticed any errors in the application and they alerted the insurance agent, the agent would have to go in and edit the application and then resend the signature once they've made the proper changes. Once all the documents have been opened, all of the bars will turn green. Once all of those bars are green, the applicant will then check mark, I have received, read, and kept a copy of the above documents. The applicant would not be able to check mark that if they have not opened up all of the documents. They'll continue scrolling down to the applicant's signature, where they will verify their location by city, state, and zip code. Once they have entered in that information, they will click on Apply e-signature, and then the applicant will hit Sign Application. It will then prepare and submit the application. It will then give a confirmation saying thank you for submitting a Medicare supplement application to ACE. They will then be able to open up all of the documents to review them again. After the applicant has signed the application status will change to submitted. Then the agent will be able to view a completed copy of the application. If you run into any technical difficulties during the application process, please contact CSG Actuarial by phone or by email. You can contact us directly at 855-861-8776. There is an EAP support prompt when you call into that phone number. You can also send our e-application support team an email, and that is eappsupport@csgactuarial.com.